South Carolina's newest recruit, Joyce Edwards, goes off this weekend in the Jordan Brand Classic. Brenda Freeze and Maryland are on the move in the transfer portal. The Dallas Wings are looking to relocate to a new building. And is the Charlotte Sting coming back? That and more in today's edition of Women's Basketball Weekly. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to a new edition of Women's Basketball Weekly. I know we haven't been here for a while, but we are back with every single Monday giving you all the news that you can use in the world of women's basketball. And we begin with DAWG Class.
DAWG Class is a camp that we're putting together with UA to really be able to bridge the gap between the college game and the professional game. For me personally, I think I had a really hard time jumping to that next level. This is a family. This is a commitment of people that want to be dogs. And when you're around other dogs, that makes you want to elevate, that hunger inside of you. So I'm really here as a resource. I want to just really give what I have to them.
DAWG Class was held by Under Armour and Kelsey Plum this past weekend and featured some of the biggest names in women's college basketball. KK Arnold, Raven Johnson, Dyasia Kelly, Sanaya Rivers, Isaiah James, Tanaya Latson, Nika Mule, Georgia Amore, Malaysia Fulwiley, Anissa Morrow, Cheyenne Sellers, Dyasia Fair, and Kate Martin. Now, the thing to note is those last two players that I named, Dyasia Fair and Kate Martin, are actually teammates of Kelsey Plum's now.
DAWG Class.
Waking up and telling yourself, I'm it. Okay, I'm her. And I'm gonna be a dog. I'm gonna be a dog today, I'm gonna be a dog tomorrow. That's the energy we're going into at this camp.
And that's a wrap.
Y'all got mega knees or what? I got you. Hey, this. Hey, I got you. Woo, got you. Hey, here it's cut. Hey. Woo, hey, woo, Margo, got you. Hey, this. I have more. That's good. Hey, hey. Hey. Come pass. No way. Right here. I'm back. I got one. I feel like we can attack more too. We waiting too much, like off of a cut. Just play ball. Hey. Watch out. Hey. Oh, lay. No tape. It's gonna be slow tomorrow, but yeah, come back for day 2.
So they mic'd me up instead. No, because when you fell and then you broke the mic, can you please put on no hands by Waka Flocka? Ow! That's me. Ow! Middle. Good pass. I got big energy, that's why. You thought I was up here. you're winning and you're going to lose sight of what's important. I'm out here grinding, and that's how I'm going to overtake you at some point.
So here's my thing.
My name is Georgia Armour, and this was the end of day 2 at the DAWG Class.
Now, DAWG Class looked pretty fun this year. They had puppies. Of course, they did their TikTok dances, but these ladies were in the gym working out, most importantly. And we saw video of them competing against each other. We saw a crazy block and some just crazy baskets along the way this past weekend. And Sanaya Rivers finished the weekend being named Dog of the Class. So shout out to Sanaya Rivers for that. DAWG Class is really starting to seem like the place to go for the top guards in the nation. It really is awesome what Kelsey, Plum, and Under Armour have built in DAWG Class, and I cannot wait to continue to see what DAWG Class looks like in the future. So shout out to the #1 dog on the planet, Kelsey Plum, for making DAWG Class a reality for so many college players and some incoming WNBA players as well. All right, now moving on from DAWG Class to Dallas Wings. The Dallas Wings are looking for a new stadium in the heart of Dallas. Currently, the team plays in Arlington at the College Park Center, which holds a maximum of 7,000 fans. In a statement released on Saturday, Wings president and CEO Greg Bibb said, "The Dallas Wings have had ongoing talks with Mayor Johnson and Dallas officials about the city's planned renovations to Memorial Auditorium. While there are many details that remain to be worked through, including approval by Dallas City Council and the WNBA's Board of Governors, the possibilities of relocating to downtown are boundless. Women's basketball has captured the nation's attention like never before, and both the WNBA and the Wings are experiencing an unprecedented surge in popularity. The city of Arlington, the University of Texas at Arlington, and College Park Center continue to be wonderful partners, and we look forward to continuing the relationship through the 2024 and 2025 seasons. The city of Dallas's proposal offers a fitting, world-class stage for our remarkable athletes and devoted fans, and we look forward to commenting further at the appropriate time." Now, the thing to note is that this Wednesday, Dallas City Council is expected to vote on a resolution that would allow the Dallas Wings to play at the K. Bailey Hutchison Convention Center, which houses the Memorial Auditorium. Now, if the measure is passed by the City Council, they can finalize a 15-year use of the space for the Wings that would also include the city paying $19 million in incentives to the Dallas Wings over 3 years. Also, under the current terms, the Dallas Wings will need to obtain a certificate of occupancy by March the 1st in 2026, which is perfect timing for the WNBA season. The K. Bailey Hutchison Convention Center is currently undergoing a massive $2 billion renovation that should be fully completed by 2028. Though, of course, the center, including the auditorium, will still be in use up until the full renovation time. So yeah, that is the news, guys. If you live in Dallas, I'm curious, what are your thoughts about the news? Also, assuming City Council actually approves this measure, the Dallas Wings will be able to increase their capacity to games to 9,816 fans. And while we are on the topic of the WNBA and arena capacities, here's your quick hit list of where teams are playing and how many fans that those arenas hold. All right, now let's get started with the Seattle Storm, who play in Seattle at the Climate Pledge Arena, which was newly renovated. They have a capacity of 18,300 fans, and last year, the Seattle Storm averaged 8,929 fans at home games. The Target Center in Minneapolis is the home of the Minnesota Lynx and has a capacity of 20,000 fans. The Lynx share their stadium with their brother team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Last year, the Lynx averaged 7,776 fans at home games. The New York Liberty play at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, which hold 19,000 fans and also is the home of the Brooklyn Nets. Last year, the Liberty averaged 7,776 fans. The Indiana Fever share a stadium with their brother team, the Indiana Pacers, and they play at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis with a capacity of the arena at 18,000 fans. Last year, the team averaged 4,066 fans in attendance at home games, though likely that number this year is going to skyrocket for sure. The Phoenix Mercury play at the Footprint Center in Phoenix, and that arena can hold a maximum of 18,055 fans. Last year, the team averaged 9,196 fans for home games. The LA Sparks play in Los Angeles at Crypto Arena, formerly known as the Staples Center, and that arena holds 20,000 fans. Last season, the LA Sparks averaged 6,553 fans, and like the Phoenix Mercury, the LA Sparks share the team arena with their brother team in the NBA. All right, now moving on to Connecticut. The Connecticut Sun play in Unkinsville, Connecticut on the Mohegan Reservation, which is federally sovereign tribal land of the Mohegan tribe. The tribe owns the Mohegan Sun Arena, which is where the Connecticut Sun play, to a capacity of 10,000 fans. Also, a fun fact to note is that the Connecticut Sun was the first WNBA team to be owned independently. Also, another fun fact is that the Connecticut Sun is the first professional sports team to be owned by a Native American tribe. They're owned by the Mohegan tribe. Last season, the Connecticut Sun averaged 6,244 fans. On to the Las Vegas Aces, who play on the Vegas Strip at Michelob Ultra Arena at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. The arena holds a capacity of 12,000 fans, and last year they averaged a league high of 9,551 fans per game. The Chicago Sky play at Wintrust Arena in Chicago, and that arena holds 10,387 fans. And last season, the Chicago Sky averaged 7,241 fans at home games. We talked about the Dallas Wings earlier, who currently play at the College Park Center in Arlington, and that holds a total of 7,000 fans. Last year, the Dallas Wings averaged 4,640 fans. The Washington Mystics play at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington, D.C. The arena only holds 4,200 fans for basketball games, though I will say this, they averaged last season 4,390 fans. Yes, that is more than capacity. How exactly they're getting away with this, I don't know. But the capacity officially for that arena is 4,200 fans. But they were able to squeeze in an extra 190 fans on average at home games last season. A thing to note also is that the Mystics might be back permanently at the Capital One Arena in 2028, according to bulletsfever.com. And that is due to the Capitals and the Wizards planning to move to Alexandria, Virginia in 2028. If that happens, the Mystics will move back to Capital One Arena, which is where they were originally located. They moved to the Entertainment and Sports Arena in 2019 because their previous arena, the Capital One Arena, was a little bit too big for the crowd that the Mystics were bringing in. But now there are more fans at games, and they are looking to move back for a larger venue. And finally, we get to the Atlanta Dream, who play at the Gateway Center in College Park, Georgia. The arena is home to the College Park Skyhawks of the NBA G League, and it is also home to the Atlanta Dream. For basketball games, the arena holds the smallest amount of any WNBA team, with only 3,500 fans being able to actually attend games. Last year, the team averaged 3,006 fans on average. So there you have it. The WNBA runs the gamut of 20,000 fans at maximum to only 3,500 fans at capacity at some of the arenas. This leads us to our next problem. The WNBA is not ready for the growth that it is currently seeing. And so let's just stay on the Atlanta Dream for a sec. The Dream released individual game tickets on Sunday, and due to unprecedented demand, they geo-restricted ticket buyers. And here's what they said in a statement. They said, due to unprecedented demand before the single game ticket presale went live earlier this morning, the Atlanta Dream implemented location restrictions on purchases to prevent brokers from acquiring large quantities of tickets. The geofence restrictions permitted only residents of Georgia and all surrounding states, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, and North Carolina, who had enrolled in the presale, ensuring that our fans have the best opportunity to see our biggest games. The geo restrictions will be lifted from the presale within 48 hours, with single game tickets scheduled to open to the general public on April the 25th. So yeah, they announced that, and a lot of people were really mad. A lot of people who were looking forward to buying tickets, they woke up early to find out that they were geo-restricted and they could not purchase their tickets. This is a huge deal, and it shows that the WNBA teams, some WNBA teams, are just not ready for the growth that they want because literally they cannot handle it. Last season, the Atlanta Dream sold out 12 of their 20 home games, which was a record for the WNBA. So normally, you got a record, you got 12 sold out games, that's a great thing, right? It's huge, it's awesome. But when you remember that the arena that the team plays in holds a maximum of 3,500 fans, it's less cool. And it makes sense as to why this team had to do geo-targeting for their ticket sales, because they don't have room to grow. The Atlanta Dream is restricted to a maximum of 3,500 fans who want to attend games. And if there's more than that want to attend games, well, you get geo-restricted. Fans are driving to the WNBA due to stars like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Cameron Brink. And they're in the WNBA now. And so you're going to have fans of those players want to go to games. And when you literally can't hold those fans, they can't even get in the door because you're sold out, it just doesn't make a ton of sense, especially when a sellout is only 3,500 fans. And this is not me dunking on the Atlanta Dream, because look at the Mystics. They aren't that much better with 4,200 fans being able to attend games, though I did say earlier that they were having more than the capacity of 10 games, which how exactly they did that, I don't know. The Mystics have moved one of their games. They moved their game against the Indiana Fever on June 7th to the Capital One Arena, which holds 20,000 fans, which maybe they will be going to permanently in 2028. And the Las Vegas Aces also moved their game as well. On July 2nd, they played the Indiana Fever, and they moved it to the T-Mobile Arena, which holds a capacity of 18,000 fans. So a little bit more fans can go to that game. The growth of the game is great. The Caitlin effect is here, and we're seeing that at Indiana Fever games when they're playing opposing teams. But it's important for the WNBA to not take this increased audience and squander it. We saw over 2,000 people watch the WNBA draft. It's a record. We've seen the college game blow numbers out the park in terms of attendance, in terms of ticket sales, in terms of viewership for the last 2 years. Growth is here. We have big name players who have big name platforms and who are driving big audiences. And so it's important for the WNBA to not sit on that and to capitalize on the increased audience that they are going to get this season. We are going to see record numbers in just about every metric this season for the WNBA. We're going to see it. The stars, the big name stars that a lot of people know about, they're here. We have household names in Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And that's going to bring a lot of fans out, a lot of casual women's basketball fans out, a lot of fans who have never attended a WNBA game before. So it's important that when they want tickets, they actually can get tickets. And it's fine to sell out a game when you have an arena that holds 10,000 plus. But to sell out and to restrict people from going to a game when you only can hold a maximum of not even 4,000 fans, it's problematic. And that's something that the WNBA has to improve on, because you can't expect to grow the game when they literally cannot fit in the room. Now, this is something that the WNBA should have anticipated. the game has been growing in the college in the college space for a while now, and is only going to keep growing from here. And if you cannot hold the fans now, what makes you think that when next season, when Paige Beckers comes in the league, that you're going to be able to fully capitalize? Because if those fans can't make it in the door, what's the benefit? So that is my rant about the WNBA and their growth. So again, I'll just leave it with this. The WNBA doesn't seem to be ready for the growth of the game. In this example, I'm talking about butts and seats. But we have seen this in other ways as well. The WNBA should have known that this wave was coming. We have been seeing this for years, the last 2 years. And it's strange that we haven't seen as many talks about changing location as we've seen right now, at least to a minimum of 10,000 fans. But guys, that's my thoughts. I also gave y'all the averages for the past season. So let me know. Take all that information in and let me know what you think about the situation when it comes to attendance for home games. And also, do you think that teams should be forced to move to a bigger location that can hold the fans that the WNBA is trying to get? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, moving on, but staying in the WNBA, there is a petition circulating on change.org to bring back the Charlotte Sting. The petition currently has 1,493 signatures. So in lieu of that, I did think it would be kind of cool for this week's In the History books to explore the history of the Charlotte Sting. So who was the Charlotte Sting? Well, the Charlotte Sting was one of the 8 original WNBA franchises that started in 1997. The Sting was the sister team of the NBA's Charlotte Hornets, and their name and color scheme reflected that. The first 2 WNBA players that were announced on the Charlotte Sting was on January the 22nd, 1997, as NC State's Andrea Stinson and Maryland's Vicky Bullitt were allocated to the Sting. The Charlotte Sting had their first game on June the 22nd, 1997, where they played on the road against the Phoenix Mercury. And a few days later, on June the 29th, they had their first home game against the Cleveland Rockers, and that was actually the Sting's first win of their franchise. In their first season, the Sting had a record of 15 wins and 13 losses, making it to the playoffs and eventually losing to the champs, the Houston Comets. In their second year, the team had a record of 18 and 12 on the year, again losing to the Comets in the playoffs. And in 1999, there was a change of faces for the Sting. The ABL folded, which meant an influx of players into the WNBA, players like Dawn Staley, who was selected in the 1999 draft. And that season, the Sting finished with a record 15 and 17 on the year. They went to the playoffs again, but once again lost. And the following year, in 2000, the team experienced their worst season. They were terrible. They were 8 and 24 that season. They made some roster changes, changing out the roster via trades and also the draft. They also added Ann Donovan as their head coach. And in 2001, the Sting had a record of 18 and 4, which is pretty good. But that record masks the horrible start that they had earlier that season. They started the season off with 1 win and 10 losses, going on a 17-4 run to end the season. And maybe you're like, wow, that's an epic run. 17-4 run. Did they win the championship? Well, no. They ran into the LA Sparks and they lost. So they made it all the way to the WNBA finals, but Lisa Leslie and the Sparks had something to say about it. And they handed the Sting 2 losses in the finals to go on to win the WNBA title. The Sting continued from there, but they just never could really get it done. That year was really their best year as a program. In 2002, the Charlotte Hornets relocated to New Orleans and became the New Orleans Hornets for a hot second. And that meant that the team, the Charlotte Sting, didn't have a brother team for the 2003 season. In 2004, the Charlotte Bobcats was announced as the NBA's newest franchise, owned by Robert Johnson. He also bought the Sting as well and changed their colors to match the Bobcats, though they did not change the mascot. The Charlotte Sting became the So with that, the Charlotte Sting became the sister team of the Bobcats. So we fast forward to 2005, where the Sting was truly, truly horrible. They finished the season with a record of 6-28. Seeing the team going down a downward spiral, management decided trades were in order. So in order to right the ship, they decided to acquire the 2006 first round draft pick, along with Christine Ramson and Adrian Goodson from the Houston Comets, in exchange for their star player, Don Staley, and a second round draft pick. The team also made a coaching change, making Muggsy Bogues, yes, the player, Muggsy Bogues, as their new head coach. They figured, why not? And actually, Muggsy Bogues did a pretty good job. He had 3 wins, which isn't bad considering that was half of the wins for their team. Yeah. After the end of that season, the Sting was on life support. They had to get back to winning games, and they kind of did. They finished the 2006 season with 11 wins and 23 losses, and that was all she wrote for the Charlotte Sting. In December of 2006, Robert Johnson and the Bobcats ownership group gave up ownership of the Stings, citing money problems. In a quote, "It was driven by economics, certainly not philosophy," said Greg Economou, the Bobcats chief marketing officer. "We believe in the women's game. If it could work here, we'd be all for it. The situation we're in is trying to build the Bobcats brand. It was difficult to absorb losing so much money as we were on the Sting side to continue." The last season for the Sting, they averaged 5,783 fans at 17 home games, which ranked 13th out of the WNBA's 14th teams. That also was the first year of My Chicago Sky, just FYI. 3 weeks later, in January of 2007, the team officially folded after being unsuccessful in finding additional buyers. That's that. That's the history. That's a quick rundown of the history of the Charlotte Sting. Maybe this team returns, but it seems likely that the team will not return. Kathy Engelbert spoke about the WNBA expanding at this past draft, but did not mention Charlotte, so take that as you will.
Related to expansion, is there any more details you can give on, is 2026 the new benchmark for adding a 14th team? Anything on the number of teams that you've narrowed it down to? And kind of relatedly, I know we're at this draft right now, but when can we expect maybe any details on the expansion draft for next year?
So first, our plan and goal is to get to 16 teams in the next few years. So we're at 13 with the Golden State team. Our plan is to get 3 more in the next few years. We're talking to a lot of different cities. I think I've thrown out names before. It's complex because you need arena and practice facility and player housing and all the things. You need committed long-term ownership groups. And so the nice thing is we're getting a lot of calls. We continue to engage with cities. I'll throw some of those out there because I've already thrown them out there. We continue to engage with cities like Philadelphia and Toronto and Portland and Denver and Nashville and South Florida and probably forgetting one. But those are the cities we're talking to. But I mean, just last week we got 2 calls from 2 other cities, and these can either take a very long time to negotiate or can happen pretty quickly if you find the right ownership group with the right arena situation. So we're on our way to 16. That will add 48 roster spots in just a couple of years. That in a league of 144 is a lot, so that's 30%. And I think it'll be great when we get those done over the next couple years. So 26 is definitely our goal for certainly the next one. And then shortly thereafter, if not then, or the year or 2 after. So by 28, I'd say I feel pretty confident we'll be at 16 teams. Okay. And I'm sorry, did you have an expansion draft? Again, we're not going to share exact details on the expansion draft today, but it'll happen this year, this calendar year. So probably in December, because it has to happen before the college draft. And so that expansion draft, we'll share more details as we get closer to that. We've been talking with our general managers and head coaches and, the teams and the owners. So more to come on that, but there will be an expansion draft this year, and it'll probably be in December.
All right, now let's talk about the college game, where Brenda Frese and Maryland are on the move. After last year's disappointing 19 wins and 14 loss season, they're trying to get back in the game, and they're off to a good start in terms of nabbing some pretty big transfers. Today, redshirt sophomore Sailor Poffenbarger of Arkansas announced that she is transferring to Maryland. Sailor is from Maryland, actually, and was awarded Miss Maryland basketball in 2020. As a freshman, Sailor started off her career at UConn as an early enrollee, and she barely played, only scoring 6 points in 12 games for UConn. After that, she decided to transfer to Arkansas, where she spent 2 years as a starter for the Razorbacks, leading the team in rebounds with 11.2 rebounds and averaging 10.2 points a game. Sailor is a 6'2" small forward that can do a little bit of everything. She ranks 7th in the country in rebounds, again with 11.2 a game. She can score the ball when she needs to. And most importantly, she is a good defender, and that is exactly what Maryland needs. So you get a defensive player coming in Sailor, and now let's talk about some offensive firepower that Brenda Freeze was able to add as well. As 6-foot sophomore guard Kayleen Smichael of Rutgers hit the transfer portal and is heading to the Terps. This past season, Kayleen averaged 17.3 points a game, 4.7 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1.9 assists in her 2 years for the Scarlet Knights. Brenda Freeze was very familiar with Kayleen because they both were in the Big Ten this season. Kayleen played just 15 games this season before being sidelined due to an unspecified health issue. She should be back next season and will be ready to ball out for Maryland. Maryland is also bringing a pair of A10 seniors, 5'5" point guard Sarah Tabazu of Virginia Commonwealth, who led her team in scoring with 16 points a game and 2.9 assists. She also is a pretty good defender as well, averaging 2 steals a game. And in terms of just her as a player, she was the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year. So yeah, Sarah's bringing some firepower for sure. We also have May Torre of Rhode Island, who is joining the team as well. She is a power forward, standing at 6'2". And this past season, May led her team by starting every game and adding 12.5 points a game and 7.7 rebounds. So yes, Maryland is on the move for sure. We will see what they do next season. All right, in other news, let's talk about some high school players who are going to be college players next season. Talking about the Jordan Brand Classic, which was held this past weekend and featured some of the best girls basketball players in the country as they battled it out at Barclays Center. It was a game between Team Flight, who defeated Team Air 111-103. Team Air was led by USC-bound Kennedy Smith, who added 21 buckets for her team. Shaq's daughter, Mariah O'Neal, also added 18 points and will play for the Florida Gators next season. Joyce Edwards was awarded the MVP honors for Team Flight, finishing the game with 25 points. And y'all, just all game watching Joyce Edwards play, she just made it seem easy. She just made it seem very, very easy. And don't forget, guys, she is going to South Carolina next year. So for sure, Don Staley is going to have another stat class next season. And for your overseas update, the London Lions are your 2024 Euro Cup Women's Champions after defeating Besiktas in aggregate points in the finals with a combined 149-145. Keep in mind that for Euro Cup, they have 2 finals games, and the winner is determined on aggregate. So whoever has the most points is the winner. Carly Samuelson was named the finals MVP after finishing with 17.5 points for the finals and 3.5 rebounds. She also had an efficiency of 17, which was pretty high. For Besiktas in that final game, Dana Evans, she really struggled to score, but she did finish with a team high of 17 points and 8 assists. The London Lions also won the British Basketball Women's Championship as well for the 3rd time in a row. And for the 2nd time in a row, Fenerbahce is your EuroLeague Women's Champions, defeating a French team, Villeneuve. I can't pronounce that correctly. I do apologize for the mispronunciation. They defeated them 106-73. Nafisa Collier, Emma Mieseman, and Kayla McBride led the way for the champions as with a combined scoring of 72 points. Yeah, they almost had as much as their opposing team, just those 3 players. Also, a thing to note for Fenerbahce is that Kayla McBride took home the finals MVP, Final Four MVP trophy. She put up 21 points, 6.5 rebounds a game, 6 assists, and 1.5 steals a game with an average efficiency of 28, all while going 7 of 11 from the 3-point line. Wow. Kayla McBride. Now, for most, overseas commitments are done. So that kind of wraps it up for a lot of the leagues in Europe. For the most part, most of the overseas commitments are done for WNBA players, and they are starting to head back stateside as they prepare for the WNBA season, which starts very, very soon. So guys, that is this week's edition of Women's Basketball Weekly. I do hope you all enjoyed the show. If you all did, please hit that like button. That would be much appreciated, guys. We are back with a lot of videos this week. We got a special birthday edition video live stream tomorrow. I hope y'all check that out. We're going to actually do the 101 for the WNBA. So if you all are new to the WNBA, that video, that live stream will be your #1 source that will tell you everything you need to know about the WNBA. We will be back for another stream on Thursday. And of course, we have our awesome people of the internet hang out on Friday. We will have a special edition of Talking Sky with Mom on Saturday, so look forward to that as well. So lots of content for you all to look out for on this channel. I hope you all enjoyed it. If y'all did, please again hit that thumbs up button. If y'all have a comment or something y'all thought about during this show, if y'all can let me know what y'all thinking in the comments, that would be fantastic. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. And also, tell a neighbor, tell a friend that Quita Love Sports is your #1 source for all things women's basketball. So, until next time, guys. Bye.